Okay, council. Oh, hello. What have we got going there? Look at that. Yes. Where's the volume switch? Goodness gracious. Obviously, that's working. So, welcome everybody to our ordinary meeting of council, Wednesday, 1st of October, the very first day of October. So, Councillor Bingham, please, if you could open us up with a prayer. Not your own either. The one that's in the book would be good. Yes.
Almighty God, be with us as we work for the people of the Shire of Mirrabul. Grant us wisdom that we may care for the Shire as true stewards of your creation. May we be aware of the great responsibilities placed upon us. Help us to be just in all our dealings, and may our work prosper for the good of all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councillor Bingham. Councillor Ward, please, if you do the acknowledgement to country.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and the Aboriginal elders of other communities who may be here today.
Thank you, Councillor Ward. Now, as everyone is aware that all these meetings are recorded, with especially for the Mirrabul News and the Star Weekly, and also for our own staff. So, having said that, everyone's present and no apologies, Mr CEO. So, can I get someone to... Oh, yes. Mr Bezuidenhout is an apology tonight from planning, the GM. So, thank you. And moving into, if we get someone to confirm the minutes from the last meeting. Thank you, Councillor Berry. Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Those in favour, so carried. Thank you. Right, at this point, I'll ask if anyone's got a conflict of interest, a disclosure, please. Anything on tonight's agenda? No? Thank you. And we'll walk into public question time, which we have no one from the public speaking tonight. It's all going swimmingly. No petitions, Mr CEO. So we'll work straight into the Chief Executive Officer reports. If we could start off at 11.1, appointment of an independent member to the Audit and Risk Advisory Committee. Councillors, there's a recommendation in the papers. Councillor Cow. Give the button a bit of a hit, please, Mr Cow. On your mic. Thank you.
I move the recommendation, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cow. Do I see Councillor Berry?
Thank you. Happy to second.
Thank you. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Okay, we'll move on to 11.2, which is the draft domestic animal plan, management plan for 26 to 30. Any questions? There's a recommendation in there, Councillor Sullivan.
Mr Mayor, I would move the recommendation just with the suggestion, if I may.
Indeed.
So you want a second, or do you want to hear the suggestion first?
Oh, if you move it, you can create your own motion.
No. It wasn't so much a motion, it was just sort of a... Yes. Well, the suggestion was with the community consultation, could the consultation also consider contacting people who have dealt with council, say, in the last 12 months, dealing with animal management issues? And I think that would be sort of to draw out those that have actually had recent dealings with it, might sort of give us a better outcome, that's all.
We'd add that if we please. Do we have a seconder for that? Thank you, Councillor Bingham. Do we have any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Okay, we'll move on to item 11.3, which is the 24 to 25 governance and management checklist. Recommendations in the agenda, councillors. Thank you, Councillor Berry. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Cow. Do we have any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Okay, we'll move on to item 11.4, adoption in principle of the 24 to 25 performance statement for submission to the Victorian Auditor General for certification. Councillors. Councillor Cow.
Move the recommendation, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cow. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Freeman. Do we have any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Look at this, it's just going on nicely. Okay, we're going to move into community strengthening reports, so we'll move on to 12.1, which is a response to notice of motion number 294, outdoor table tennis tables in public parks. Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Minari. Are there any objections? Thank you, Councillor Ward. Please, Councillor Sullivan, if you commence the debate, please. Oh, sorry. We've got an objection. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah, I wasn't expecting you either.
This particular matter has been canvassed quite widely, and the officer's response covers that. I think that, the circumstances of these facilities being placed in areas where, in public parks and what have you, I think it'd be difficult to play table tennis in a park, perhaps with the wind. You'd have to allow for the wind, I take it. So I think I would support the recommendation. Thank you.
Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I know former councillor Dudzik was quite passionate about this one, and I think she put this up about 4 years ago. And I must admit I was sceptical, somewhat dubious about whether there would be demand for this. But having been fortunate enough to travel last year and seen the popularity of these tables where they're placed in a park, when the sun's out, people are coming out for picnics and sitting down, they bring their bats along and they are incredibly popular. So I question whether we have actually, it mentioned that there was no demand during the drafting of the Rec and Leisure strategy. I'm not sure that people would have actually known that it was a thing. So I think it'd be more appropriate, rather than putting a line through it saying we're not going to consider this, I would suggest it'd be more appropriate to put one in an appropriate spot as a trial to see whether there is demand for it, Mr Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. What I'll do before we go to Councillor Minari, does anyone want to foreshadow a motion should this not get through? No? You do? Yes. Thank you, Councillor Wood. No worries. Councillor Minari, please.
Thank you. I'll keep it short. I think these would work really well in a sunnier climate. Obviously, 9 months of the year we're burning the fires and keeping quite warm. And I have seen them in other local shires in the Hepburn Shire. I've never witnessed anyone using them, so I'm quite comfortable with the recommendation at this stage. I think in the future we could definitely have more conversation, but for now I'm comfortable. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Minari. Anyone else wishing to speak against? Thank you, Councillor William.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yeah, I'll be speaking against a bit of a theme, travelling up north. And as Councillor Minari mentioned, that these tables would do quite well in the sunny areas. But look, council officers have conducted a report and did some community consultation. And if there happened to be a demand in the future for these, then by all means, we've got a petition process that people can do, and people can petition us at a later point, and then we can have that discussion. Thank you.
I'm assuming you're not speaking against, you're speaking for. Is that right? I'm a little confused.
Speaking for, yeah, sorry, I'm speaking against Councillor Watt. Speaking for. Apologies, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wish to speak for or against, or anything else you got? So, councillors, anything else? No, so we'll take it to Councillor Sullivan to close off the debate, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I think, as my fellow councillors have said, we haven't put a line right through this. If there's a future demand, the option may still come to council. I was trying to actually find the thing somewhere. I think there's only about 2% of the public play table tennis, and the younger people, the percentage is even lower. So I think, but if the demand, arises into the future, or perhaps part of a master plan of some of the facilities, it might be that's where it might come to light. But at this stage, I think the recommendation, the officer recommendation, has been sort of teased out completely. It's done the proper analysis, and I would commend the recommendation to council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. So we'll take it to a vote. Those in favour? Motion's carried. Okay, we'll move on to 12.2, Community Asset Reports. Councillors, please. Thank you, Councillor Minari. Thank you, Councillor Sullivan, for seconding. Are there any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Okay, we'll move on to item 12.3, response to the notice to motion number 334, reduction in state government support for community sport and infrastructure. Councillors. Thank you, Councillor Ward. Are you moving it with a question? On its own, yes. Second or anywhere? Councillor Minari, thank you. Any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Thank you, Councillor Minari, for your support. Righto, moving on to number 12.4. This is the Rural Health and Wellbeing Plan 25 to 29 for adoption. Councillors. Councillor Ward, you're
Happy to
moving it?
move it, Mr Mayor.
Moving it. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Berry. Do you have any objections? Thank you, Councillor Sullivan.
Mr Mayor.
If I could take it to you, Councillor Ward, if you could begin the debate.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. First of all, I'd like to commend the officers in the extensive consultation that took place in the drafting of this municipal health and wellbeing plan. I know there was extensive community engagement by the Have Your Say and 3 workshops that all councillors were invited to and which a number of us attended. And I couldn't have been more impressed by the stakeholder engagement, Mr Mayor. So I think the health and wellbeing plan is a very well put together document that balances many priorities that the stakeholders in the community have voiced their opinions to us on, and they include culture and inclusion, noting we've got a growing diverse community, homelessness and food safety, prevention of violence and community safety, being active, climate and the environment, mental health and resilience, healthy eating and food security, and reducing harmful addictions. So I think it's an excellent document that's been put together with a lot of consultation, and the community has spoken, and I fully support it.
Thank you, Councillor Wood. Before I go to Councillor Sullivan, anyone want to foreshadow a motion? Should it not get through?
I will.
Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Councillor Sullivan, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It is with some reluctance I voiced my opposition to this health and wellbeing plan presented here tonight. But what I have to say should not come as a surprise to anyone, as I've raised these concerns before. The plan, as I see it, promotes the idea that not all residents are equal in Moorabool. Some small minority groups are more equal than others, being singled out for special consideration. Everyone in Moorabool Shire should be treated equally, and if it were not, I would be the first to say, why not? When small minority groups are flagged to receive preferential treatment, then the document discriminates against the vast majority of Moorabool Shire residents. I note in page 105 of the agenda here tonight, there's a long list of government and other agencies that were involved in the development of this plan. At the top of this list, it notes that the health and wellbeing partners who informed this plan, I note there are 12 in total, Mr Mayor. I won't go through them, but councillors can see them on the agenda. I think these departments and agencies heavily influence this plan, and I can see their fingerprints all over the plan. They all have an agenda, and I believe it has bled into a Moorabool health and wellbeing plan. In some instances, I would say that this plan here tonight is not our plan, tailored for Moorabool residents, but the imposition of external agencies and policies by others, external to council. I note that we have to work with these agencies in delivering services, I acknowledge that, but the tail should not wag the dog. I know some of my councillor colleagues will argue that there was a process in the delivery of this plan, and we need to respect the process. At some earlier sessions, some councils were in attendance. I would also point out, as part of this process, it was proposed to have 2 councillor assemblies on this plan where councillors, the whole of council, could input. One assembly was held before the draft went out for exhibition and one after exhibition. At both sessions, myself and other councillors raised concerns that are seemingly being ignored. These 2 assemblies where councillors could input into the plan. It would seem that both these council assemblies were just tokenism, a sham. Councillors, I'll ask yourself this, do you believe that some groups should be preferentially treated? Or should everyone in Moorabool be treated the same? Are you comfortable with the situation where some groups are treated differently, some more favourably than others? For me, I believe that everyone in this shire should receive exactly the same treatment and exactly the same level of service. The Moorabool Health and Wellbeing Plan should consider everyone as a person, not a commodity to be distinguished from other people. We all have basic human needs, and that this plan should consider that and nothing else. To do otherwise is discriminatory. One might paraphrase George Orwell's Animal Farm novel. All residents in Moorabool are created equal, but some are more equal than others. I would suggest that a decision on this plan be deferred and come back to an Assembly of Council with enough time to deal with the matter properly. If this motion fails, Mr Mayor, I would flag that such. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Now, Councillor Berry, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd also like to thank all officers who organised the Health and Wellbeing Plan meetings, the Have Your Say, all the agencies, yes, who did attend, all the councillors who attend, and all the community members who contributed to this Health and Wellbeing Plan. When we talk about exactly the same treatment for everyone, and we open up these meetings to allow the community, the agencies, whoever, to contribute, there was lots of yellow stickers that were put on each of the topics, and I think every one of those would have been taken into consideration. I'm not sure where those comments came from that Councillor Sullivan is talking about, but I think that's real consultation then when we're allowing the people out there to speak and to put forward. I don't see it as a special treatment. I think some of these groups, and I'd like myself to think that I'm important in the community and live in a different way. I don't want to live like the person next door to me, behind me, in front of me. And I would respect all people that contributed to this Health and Wellbeing Council plan. So what I see is if we're opening up to consultation, when these sorts of things get put on the table, do we then vet them? I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should be vetting any situation where we've opened it up to have your say and public consultation. So I'm okay with the Health and Wellbeing Plan 2025 to 29 as it is, contributions from the public, from the councils, from the agencies. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Berry. Councillor Freeman.
Mayor, I do recommend this plan. I am the council rep on it. I don't know where the preferential treatment is coming in because I'm a migrant, I'm an aged person. I've gone right through this, checked all the ones that I was concerned about, and it is covered, everything is covered. I have worked also in my past life, 30 years in the sector, and you do have to listen to those agencies. Those agencies are the ones that are working with the people on the ground. I know I've worked with them. I've worked in financial counselling during the recession we had to have. I worked with people who were in financial hardship, who actually committed suicide. Now, those people, those agencies are the ones that are bringing their knowledge to this plan. And I think we do need to have to respect it. You know, I want out the resources that we have. We have limited resources. I want those resources to go where it is needed. And I feel this plan does do that. But I'll also make one comment. I've just been reading this Building Healthy Ageing into municipal public health and wellbeing plans. And unfortunately I will acknowledge, there is one minority group that haven't been mentioned, that is veterans. And it states in this, veterans are often neglected, an invisible group in communities. They face high risk for both mental and physical health problems. While not all are in the ageing population, many, such as Vietnam vets, And I was in the army during the Vietnam veteran era. I know what happened. I know how they suffered. And even though the Vietnam vets or the veterans are not mentioned individually in there, we are covering those areas that are there. They are now, those Vietnam vets are now older people, and those people are, such as me, are represented in this plan. And they've also experienced extensive ongoing trauma and social discrimination. But that is also in the plan. And I really feel this is a good plan. Like I said, even I hear what Councillor Sullivan is saying about the agencies, but without the agencies, you wouldn't have the plan, because they're the ones that have spoken to those grassroots people. My last job was with AFCA. So I was, during COVID, the interest rates went up. People were losing their homes. I had to listen to that. And they're the sort of things those agencies are bringing to this plan. So I highly recommend that we do approve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Freeman. Just before we go on, we need to be very mindful that we're online and we're not too, generally it's accepted that we don't talk about people taking their own lives in public. I'd just like to mention, if you want to include it in your debate, please withdraw it. Councillor Bingham.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm going to speak against, so I will support deferring the motion if this is lost. I'll keep it short and sweet. As Councillor Sullivan alluded to, we have had some briefings, and the latest briefing we had in relation to this was just last week, and there was a lot more discussion to be had, but unfortunately we ran out of time. Ultimately, we're talking about a reconciliation action plan, as that was basically the topic of the day. I'm very mindful about staying in our lane. So the state government is creating a reconciliation action plan as we speak. So therefore, I believe it's a state government responsibility, not a local government responsibility. And for that reason, I will be voting against this.
Thank you, Councillor Bingham. Anyone else wish to speak for or against? No? Okay, close the debate, please. Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to echo Councillor Freeman's comments and Councillor Berry's comments. I don't think this health and wellbeing plan at all promotes or suggests there should be preferential treatment for any group. It recognises seniors and that they'll have different needs. It recognises people with all abilities needs. And what we have to be mindful of is that everyone is treated equally and with respect. And I think the Community Health and Wellbeing Plan is aiming to treat every resident and ratepayer in Mirrabel with respect. So it's aiming to treat everyone equally. What it does do is it recognises we have diversity. And many people would be watching this meeting tonight and suggest there's a lack of diversity around these tables. What we have to understand is that everyone in Mirrabel needs to feel safe, and that includes feeling culturally safe. We have a fast-growing Indian population, Mr Mayor, which I think has added colour and excitement to the community. 3% of our residents are now of Indian descent, and apart from the wonderful dining and their passionate love of cricket, we're going to have to cater for other needs for the growing population in the future, and that'll mean that we need to consider things that councillors before us haven't considered, such as kabaddi, increasing popularity amongst their community with badminton. So this Community Health and Wellbeing Plan is all about recognising diversity, but making sure that people come to Mirrabel and they feel culturally safe. We have a section in there for, we want to make sure that those of the LGBTQIA plus community feel safe, and activities such as Ida Hobbit Day promote that. So it's important that we actually have a cross-cultural understanding and we celebrate it, and that includes celebrating and recognising our Indigenous culture. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ward. Councillors, we'll take it to a vote. Those in favour? Motion's carried. Please, could I have those stand that are in favour? Of those standing, I'll better call now. Councillor Ward, Councillor Freeman, Councillor Berry, Councillor Minari, Councillor Venditti Taylor and Councillor Kerr. Those against? I'll stand on one too. There'll be Councillor Bingham, Councillor Sullivan and Councillor Thatcher. Right. Okay, councillors. We're moving on to 12.5, which is advisory committees of council reports. Councillors. Thank you, Councillor Perry. Thank you, Councillor Minari. I was really going to call it anyway. Those in favour? So carried. Thank you. Right. I'll move on to 12.6, and this is response to an item of urgent business, Bacchus Marsh and Bland Outdoor Pool opening hours. Councillors, Councillor Minari, please. Moved. Seconded, Councillor Berry. Do you have any objections? Those in favour? So carried. Righto, we're going to move on to customer and corporate services reports, and the first one is 13.1, which is the adoption in principle of the 24-25 financial statements for submission to the Victorian Auditor General for certification. Councillors. Councillor Kerr, yes.
I'll move the recommendation, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kerr.
With a couple of questions, Mr.
Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Do you want the questions, please?
Chair, just on the balance sheet, where does outstanding rates show up, or where should it show up? Because we actually haven't got the readies then, have we?
Mr CEO, please.
Well, it's a general question.
I just want to give you the exact right answer, so
Fair enough.
just give me 1 second. Do you know?
We'll hit your button too, boss. Yours, Chief. Thank you. While you're doing that, we'll go for the second question
Well,
as
the second question is actually on the page 37, under proposal, second paragraph, it states, in accordance with Council's governance protocol, the reports will be presented to the Council's Audit and Risk Committee. Should that be past tense?
Mr. Singh, do you want to take both of those?
Take both of those
Thank
through
you.
the chair. So that's correct. It should be past tense because they have been presented.
Okay,
And the it would be under trade and other receivables 5.1 on the balance sheet. So it's the note 5.1. So on your balance sheet under current assets, that's
What
where
page would that be?
on this particular report, page 163.
Okay. So what was it again, sorry?
Trade and other receivables. It'll be up in your asset category, your current
So
assets.
that figure that's shown there is non-payment of rates so far? Included?
Included.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. So we have an item that's been moved by Councillor Kerr, seconded by Councillor Sullivan. Do we have any objections? No? Those in favour? So carried. Okay. Now we're going to move on to other reports. We've got no notices of motion this evening. Was that a smiling me? Okay, we've got no rescission motions, so we'll move into the Mayor's report. If I can get someone to move that, please. Thank you, Councillor Berry. Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Those in favour? So carried. So now we're going to move into our new adventure, which is our councillor report. So we can start, please, with you, Councillor Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. No delegate or councillor report.
Thank you. Councillor Kerr, please.
Mr Mayor, during the last month, other than the council meetings and the council briefings, I attended the following: Mirrabul Growth Committee Management Meeting, Mount Egerton Stop Drop-In Community Session, the second Blackwood Service Groups Get Together, Bland and Library Community Hub official opening, first Bland Scouts AGM, a music concert at St Martin's Chapel, Blackwood, the Mirrabul Environmental and Sustainability Advisory Committee, Blackwood Caravan Park AGM, the Indie School Expo, Mount Egerton Regional Reserve Committee members, the Australian Citizenship Ceremony, Blacksmiths Cottage and Forge Committee, and the Blacksmiths and District Photographic Club. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Carr. I think we missed a memo here somewhere, but I haven't got the reports in front of me, the council reports, but the whole process was we were going to pick something out of each report that was a report to council, and I was going to get submitted with all these reports. The only one I got was me. So, but I'm glad you've got one, Councillor Carr. Maybe we should have forwarded it to you. So, as is the process, what I'll ask the councillors to do, pick something off your sheet, and it'll be a surprise to me. So, so if I could please, Councillor Diddy Taylor.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, I'd like to pretty much just thank everyone for all the events I was invited to during the month, and I'll pretty much leave it at that. Most of those things that obviously with Councillor Keogh, I always attended, and I'd like to thank everyone for all those invitations. Thank you.
Yes, we have a fallen councillor on the end there. So, anyhow, Councillor Minari, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I have submitted my councillor report, but I will just touch on, I was invited to the Bland Probus group. It's been running for 18 months and it's getting new members all the time, and it's a wonderful, active group. And it was just lovely to just be in their space and catch up with them this month. Thank you.
Councillor Bingham.
Thank you.
You've lost your name tag.
That's all right. I just want to report on two items. So with a couple of councillors, I attended the Batakuma celebrations, which was a women-led celebration at the Mark Stadium on Saturday. And I just want to take a grab from my speech because I think it was pretty good myself. Just a quick grab because this takes in this is our community. So when I look at the stunning floral arrangements, I see a symbol of what makes this area so special. Many different flowers, many different colours, yet together they form something truly beautiful. That is our community. Different backgrounds, languages, faiths, but united in purpose, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. But something that just come across my desk is... So this Sunday, the Rosalie Fire Brigade are celebrating their 85th anniversary, where they'll be celebrating the history of the brigade as well as celebrating individual achievements. So all councillors are invited as well as all community members. It starts at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bingham. Councillor Berry.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I did to submit my council report, but I've chosen two things to speak on. One of them is in memory of Lois Hunt. I wish to remember Lois Hunt passed away at 85 on September 16th, a very glamorous and welcoming lady who ran the Gel Street Bacchus Marsh wool shop for many years, then moved to her Main Street Bacchus Marsh shop where she was still running the shop at 85. Not many live and work as Lois did, 85 with no retirement. Bacchus Marsh has lost a beautiful lady and also lost some good old-fashioned customer service. Lois will be missed, a truly amazing local icon after a short illness. Rest in peace, Lois Hunt. And I did just hear today too, her shop has gone on the market, which is a shame.
Thank you.
Second one I'd like to speak on is the Peri-Urban Councils Victoria. So Peri-Urban Councils Victoria has welcomed the Regional Australia Institute's answering the call for regional housing report. The RAI has stepped out the complexity of building homes outside metropolitan areas, particularly the cost of developing land for future livable communities. This is a conversation that PUCV have been entertaining for a few years, and it's in line with PUCV's current advocacy with all peri-urban councils of Australia, now included. The report recommends the federal and state governments increase funding for enabling infrastructure to open more land for housing developments with specific funding programs. PUCV have two key asks and have had 2 key asks and continue with delegations to state and federal governments in October this year. And that's about the $230 million Capital Grants Fund and the $90 million Future Fund. So we continue to work on the definition of peri-urban councils for the Honourable Catherine King MP also. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Freeman, please.
Have also submitted my council report and I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Freeman. Well played. Thank you. Well played. Councillor Ward, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Nothing really to report, but I also want to endorse Councillor Berry's comments about Lois Hunt. She was much loved in the Bacchus Marsh community. I think my mother used to go down and buy wool every week, not because she needed wool, but just because she loved chatting to Lois. And that was a sentiment shared right across the community. I just want to finish by congratulating the Darley Football Netball Club, who over the course of the past month have achieved something that has never been achieved before in the Ballarat Football Netball League. They won the Senior Men's Premiership, the Senior Women's Premiership, and the A-Grade Netball Premiership, so the Triple Crown. And so congratulations to them on those victories and also their B-Grade Netball Premiers. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ward. Councillors, I'll get someone to move the council report. Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. Thank you, Councillor Bingham. Those in favour, so carried. Right. I can't wait till next month. It'll be adventurous. So, yeah. Next, we're going to close the session, so I'll need someone to call an adjournment. Well, sorry, we're still doing urgent business, not in my report today. Urgent business. Councillor Sullivan, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I've become aware that there is opportunity for ratepayers to consolidate their rate notices together under particular conditions, 4 of which there are. And I was just wondering, could that information be put on council's website to make people aware that is an option should they wish to pursue that? Please.
Mr Chair, thank you. Yes, Councillor Sullivan, that can be done. So,
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
thank you. Councillor Kerr, urgent business, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I've got nothing to report.
Thank you, Councillor Kerr. Councillor Mbididi Taylor.
No urgent business, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Taylor. Councillor Minari.
No urgent business, Mr Mayor.
Bingham.
No urgent business, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Bingham. Councillor Berry.
No urgent business, thanks, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Berry. Councillor Freeman.
No urgent business, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Freeman. Councillor Ward.
No urgent business and nothing to report, Mr Mayor.
Well played. Thank you, Councillor Wood. Just a quick one before we go to an adjournment on urgent business. There is an anomaly on the rates notices in terms of people being able to claim the essential services tax, and the council's dealing with it at the moment. It's to do with the zoning number, and this comes up in places like Bungaree and Wallace, where, according to the current legislation, they're not eligible based on the zoning of how it's zoned on the paperwork. So we are trying to get that resolved, or at least get some answers back from the government. So watch this space on that. So could I get someone to move moves into adjournment? Thank you, Councillor Minari. I'm going to take 5 minutes. Councillor Bingham. Are those in favour? So carried. And we've had one guest tonight, and I'm going to have to ask you to leave. So, sorry. A confidential report in front of us. We'll start with 19.1, which is a road. Sorry, are we still running? Oh, we did that over here with Councillor Sullivan. I did. Yes. Yes.